Today, Vada Pav sells more in America than in India, I suppose.
Okay.
Real estate doesn't need any qualification. So you don't need qualification, so everybody wants to be a builder. Some be a good builder, some be a Saturday, Sunday builder.
बट तभी शायद टाइम ऐसा था कि एंट्री कर सकते थे जब जिसको करना है.
Thanks to the government of Maharashtra and the police that we don't have the underworld fear.
जब आपने ज्वाइन किया था तब था अंडरवर्ल्ड का fear.
जरूर.
तो तब आपने कैसे एंटर किया था? Having zero qualifications for real estate, कैसे टैकल करते थे?
So you have to live the Ramayana, not read the Ramayana. So that's why it's real estate that you keep doing every project, you keep improving yourself to the next level.
What is your view on marketing in real estate?
There was no expenses in the good old time. Maximum a broker would charge you 2%, your overall expenditure would be 1%. But today now it's hitting 5+% with GST, it adds to 6%.
What are your opinions on the PMAY 2.0 scheme?
It's a good scheme and fortunately they have increased the value.
कुछ चेंजेस करवाने थे कुछ लोगों को स्कीम में.
वो कर दिए 6.5 लाख रुपए की अभी एलिजिबिलिटी हो गई है.
ओके.
पहले 2.5 लाख की थी, अभी 6.5 लाख की हो गई.
आप समझा सकते हो वो स्कीम प्रॉपर्ली? Hello everyone, welcome back to Speaking Real Estate Podcast, and today with us we have Mr. Domnic Romell, Managing Director at Romell Group and President of CREDAI-MCHI. Welcome Domnic sir, and very glad and delighted that this is happening, and thank you so much for your time and making this happen.
So Chris, I thank you actually for pursuing me. I'm quite shy with the camera, you understand that. But as a parting gift for your education, I said, let me give you the chance to speak to you and enjoy the conversation.
Definitely, and today is going to be fun. I want to start off with knowing about your whole background and knowing certain things that from the background that you have came up and built this whole empire of Romell Group. So starting with your education and then what got you interested in real estate?
So coming back to Romell Group, the question you asked, we hear a lot of startups saying that we met in the garage, started work. We did, two guys sat on the TED desk and got ideas. So I think we two brothers started from a grocery shop.
Okay.
Where we had a small stationery shop, not stationery, but a confectionery shop. And that's how it worked. He was doing some real estate and then he needed help from the family, and that's where I got into it, and then we grew it from there. So that's how it expanded. Education, I gave up my education to support him at that time, but I did my distance learning and did my MA in economics in time to come. And that's where we are working hard and getting where today we are in a group of almost 150 employees actually being paid from Romell's balance sheet. And we are growing happily. Other part of your question that you asked me, that how did you join real estate? So the other part is very simple. Real estate doesn't need any qualification. So you don't need qualification. So everybody wants to be a builder. Some be a good builder, some be a Saturday, Sunday builder.
बट तभी शायद टाइम ऐसा था कि एंट्री कर सकते थे जब जिसको करना है. किसी की हिम्मत हो गई वो टाइम पे तो लोगों ने कर ली एंट्री रियल एस्टेट में. बट शायद आज इतना इजी नहीं होगा एंटर करना.
नहीं, मैं तो आज बोलता कि आज और भी इजी हो गया.
आज और भी इजी हो गया.
Right now, thanks to the government of Maharashtra and the police, that we don't have the underworld fear.
Right.
At that time in 99, 2000, there was a lot of underworld fear when I joined the company. So that's how it was.
जब आपने ज्वाइन किया था तब था अंडरवर्ल्ड का fear.
जरूर.
तो तब आपने कैसे एंटर किया था?
God was kind with me. My parents' blessings were there.
So what was the first project like?
So I started a project in Daisar. It was 748 meters plot precisely with 113 meters setback and with 14 tenants and 3 landlords.
So it was buying them out or?
No, it was more a redevelopment idea.
Okay.
And I bought 2 of the landlords. One landlord was very emotional about owning a flat back because it was his father's property, so he wanted that spirit to continue. Surprisingly, but when I started excavating, and I didn't know much of civil because I was not a civil guy, within 3 feet we got a rock, which is a basalt rock, which cannot be broken. So that was my first experience of life. I had to break a rock to get to the foundation. So that's how it was.
So you didn't have a good education because you had to enter the business, support the family. But having zero qualifications for real estate and coming up with all these problems जैसे civil का knowledge नहीं हो, तब कैसे tackle करते थे?
So I kept learning every sector. I started from civil, then went to architecture, then went to sales. Now I'm looking at legal.
Your first project was in which year?
1999, Daisar, Krishnagunj.
How it went from starting first project to next project?
Oh, it's a learning. I think one should keep his mind open. would very clearly tell everyone nobody knows the Ramayana by living it. They might know it by the book. So you have to live the Ramayana, not read the Ramayana. So that's why it's real estate that you keep doing every project, you keep improving yourself to the next level.
How has been the growth been like? At that time, you were just two brothers working in the company, and now today with 150 employees, कैसे team बढ़ती गई with time?
So I think you need more hands to grow the thing. But our focus is more different. We like to nurture people who can be a part of the family and give them the comfort of what we didn't have at that level. And that's how you have to grow. Give the confidence to the employees that not only the salary, but the workplace is worth working here.
आज तो सबको पता है कि you make departments for particular activities, sales, marketing, operations, business development, legal. But at that point of time, I don't think so there would have been such a structured format of team formation. तो तब कैसे team work करता था?
So I think my mother gave me the secret sauce, how to get things done from different people. So
Okay.
that's how we did it. She used to do some like a part-time thing for we add value to the family. So she gave us the ingredients how to manage so many things at one time. I think that was the secret sauce of her.
What kind of leadership culture do you aim to provide at this stage in your company?
So basically, I think Krish, the very simple thing, leadership still continues from day one. As I said, my mom's secret sauce, the end person, the customer, is where you can make the money. So you make them happy, they will be your repeated customer. So that's the only quality you need to learn.
How do you pick your people in your company?
So first quality which I look for my company is very simple. I look at their how honest they are, what it is. Second is how sustainable they will be in the company, because I don't like fly-by-night people. Third is that then I have to reciprocate and give them, once they have those two values, then I have to give them a more clarity of what their job role is and what they exactly need to be do, and then keep them motivated in the company.
You have had experiences with people जो एकदम starting से ही आज तक आपके साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, और कुछ लोग जो 2-3 साल में शायद जॉब शिफ्ट करते हैं, तो उन दोनों के बारे में आपका क्या ओपिनियन रहेगा?
So I don't think both are bad, both are good, because I think if some leave, you get better people, and the person who stays is always loyal.
You have any particular more involvement in particular departments or particular roles in the company?
Specifically, I'm now pursuing sales. As I said, that's the last thing which I'm looking to accelerate my top line. My bottom line is rock solid, so I do a pad of 20% every year on year. But now to accelerate sales is what I'm focusing on, and marketing team and sales team, we're trying to do this. So that's where we are. That's one part of it. Second thing is that we look at, we just don't want to go into a project assuming things, because I think real estate is also like a climate. It can change very fast. So that's where I'm always apprehensive, and perhaps that's the reason I'm not grown to that potential where I should be. But I'm surely rock solid where I am.
What is your view on marketing in real estate?
So marketing in real estate, my view was very different. In fact, this morning when I was walking down, I was just thinking that there was no expenses in the good old time. Maximum a broker would charge you 2%, your overall expenditure would be 1%. But today now it's hitting 5+%. With GST it adds to 6%. So that's actually a huge slice which the customer or the developer is paying today to accelerate sales.
Do you think that is mandatory today कि आज अगर कोई बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट कर रहा है और मार्केटिंग करना ही पड़े वो सेल्स करने के लिए?
See, I think because of the competition, it is mandatory. I don't doubt it. But if you don't need to sell and you have enough cash flows to work with RERA and get things done, because whatever you sell, 70% goes back into RERA.
Right.
Today, I think all banks are really giving a lot of good loans to the right developers at a good price. So, and inflation is so high that you always cover the cost of interest in it.
What kind of sales strategy do you pursue? Sometimes some developers prefer कि starting में कम भाव में माल निकाल दिया, or some people are consistent based on their cash flows and look to do sales with time consistently.
So for me, sales is not all that important. For me, completion of the project is more important. And that's where we are successful. Like today, we don't have a single RERA complaint, frankly speaking. Not for anything, not for quality, not for anything. We don't have a single RERA complaint. We are always before time. Our end job today is to get the OC and give the customer its house back. That's one part of it. So basically, I focus rather to start my sales after the plinth is completed.
Okay.
So I don't do any EOI, I don't do a launch, I don't do anything. once my plinth is complete, I'm good to know, because that's where the uncertainty gets over of my team. Because what is beneath the ground, as I said, my first project, on 3 feet, I got a basalt rock, which was impossible to blast because blasting was not allowed. So that's where the point is. So the strategy is very simple. So once the plinth is done, then you have people. See, people are watching what you're doing actually. So a person who comes to you for the first time will wait and see, pause to see the progress for 3 months to 4 months. He processes and sees whether the price is increasing also, whether he's, it's like the word FOMO, that he's trying to feel that whether he's a left out guy or whether he's stagnant. So if the price is stagnant, he said, good, I have not invested.
Fair enough. You said that you're focusing right now on the top line for past some time, and considering that sales is something that you are thinking to do only after you get the plinth CC. So are you planning to change your strategy from doing sales in an early stage, or it is the same?
No, it's not a question of strategy. See, there is a demand and supply where I think I don't want to lose an opportunity. It's not that I won't take sales if it comes, but if till my RERA doesn't come, I don't do anything. I'm very disciplined on that part. So unless my RERA comes, I don't take any bookings.
Now, Romell Group has been doing a lot of developments where you all buy the land and then do the development, and still you all have a good amount of land bank with yourselves. So, and currently looking, hardly any 5 to 7% of Bombay's land is vacant, and the future is of redevelopment. So what are your views on the kind of development the Romell Group does?
So I do redevelopment. It's not I don't do redevelopment, but I don't want to promise something which I can't deliver. So that's where I'm always selected in the top 3, but because I can't promise what I can't do, I think that's the reason most of them are not shortlisted. But I'm doing a lot of redevelopment. I've been shortlisted for many societies. I've delivered societies. In fact, I did redevelopment before the words could start also. I was doing redevelopment in Parla in 2001, 2002. There were tenanted properties or this small societies, which I got the redevelopment done.
How is your experience with doing outright properties versus redevelopment?
I think outright property is more profitable.
More profitable. So what has been your strategy? Like, you take up the land, keep it for some years, or it's immediate development?
It depends both. See, right now from 2018, I'm not holding my land because it doesn't give me an NAV which I need. Earlier it was. So right now I immediately start developing. Like I just bought a land in IC only. I've launched it. I've got the CC because RERA is shut down. I'm waiting for it. I'll start developing.
You still have a thought process of buying lands or purchasing outright projects as of today, considering the less availability of the land in Bombay and increased prices on land?
I don't think there's a shortage of land.
Okay.
The point is the price. So I choose the price to buy. So I have a simple maths that what should be my, suppose 100 rupees is the value of my revenue. I won't pay 20% more than for land. That's my simple formula.
Got it.
So if 20% is the land, it's the right price to buy.
20% of the cost of the project is
it
land.
It cannot be beyond that.
Okay.
Because you will not make money.
Okay.
Because BMC taxation and all this income is almost 50%. Construction is around 15%. So both together is that you are left with 15% for the bottom line.
Your experiences made you come to this point of calculation?
I think there's no point failing. So you need to learn and you need to be wise enough that, because even though it's not somebody else's money, but it's the customer's money, yes, something goes wrong and the project gets stuck. So I think you have to be wise enough not to just compete for something which is not going to give beneficial to the customer or to the company.
How is your experience with redevelopment projects?
Redevelopment is a good experience, I don't doubt it, but I think people being educated pretend that they're not educated. When it comes to a negotiation, when the person, I give a fact sheet to a PMC or a society, they deny it, we say that they don't understand it. Why? Because the other person is giving 2% more or 3% more. That's where the difference is.
Now, you said that normally outright projects are more profitable, but one major cost, which is the land cost, is not there in redevelopment. Obviously, there is the rent and corpus. But is it always that outright projects will be more profitable than redeveloped?
Your cost of land, like I'll give you a very simple example. I'm not named the society. There's a society in Borivali East where I was competing and I was the second best guy. The PMC also said it was a PTC to be developed and done there. There's 4,000 meters. PMC has certain conditions that the entire FS has to be loaded on the first day.
Okay.
The corpus has to be paid this much. Advance rent has to be paid this much. So there was the land cost in Borivali is not more than 80 crore rupees per acre. My investment cost was more than 100 crore rupees.
Okay.
I was only fortunate that I had PTC, so I could execute the project because I have existing PTC with me. It didn't make sense to me. The bank guarantee, all those things, if you calculate, some wise guys calculate, he will always shy off from a redevelopment. If he wants to abide with the PMC and the society. But what some other smart guy will do, he'll enter into a development register comment and say, then he start denying, I can't do this, I can't do this. Then there will be litigation. That's why redevelopment is stuck. Because the justification that the PMC or the society expects from a builder is not possible at times.
I want to shift the conversation towards CREDAI-MCHI.
As I said, I'm 45 minutes all yours, so you can shift the conversation where you want.
So you are currently the president of CREDAI-MCHI. I want to start off with you telling the purpose and the objective of the organization.
So it was, I think...
association.
Sure. I think it was November, I can't remember the date, 2012, named by my earlier president. He and me, for the first time I interviewed, got into the exhibition of MCHI CREDAI, and we both were sharing opposite each other's stall. And then whilst talking, he felt that, and this guy could also participate in CREDAI-MCHI, and why not? So he asked me, why have you not participated? I just see, honestly, I don't know much. And mostly, I'm a person who works very closely with my team, and that's all it is. But he said, why don't you come and interview and give us this? So then 2 builders referred me. Fortunately, that's Rajesh Rai Spaces and I think Vimal Shah. And I got into the business with CREDAI-MCHI.
How has been the journey?
Oh, wonderful journey.
But the objectives and purpose of this association. How has been the journey from starting to being a member to becoming the president?
It's fun. So I'm the youngest tenure that I've got to be a president. In 13 years, people don't even come into the committee or don't become a secretary or don't become a management. But I've been fortunate, thanks to all my seniors, Vimal Bhai, Mayur Bhai, Nayan Bhai, Deepak Gurre, Baman, Dharmesh Bhai. All these guys really nurtured me, and I think there were other Hindi words allowed me to keep working with them and coming to that level.
How much time does it take at this position?
So actually time is, I think, something very different if you look at it. Balancing something is you can find. Time you have to create for yourself. But with the association, you only learn to read. From there, you get better rewards. So what you cannot reach to, the association makes you reach there. So it's very simple that if you go as an association, you're always welcomed. You're always listened about it. You get a good listening to it. And that productivity helps not only yourself, but your entire fraternity. So I think time is it's only an excuse, I think, sir. Everyone has time for everybody if he wants to use the time for that person.
Sometimes some people's opinions have been that you have to put in a lot of time in the association when some important events are happening or some important time of the association is there. You have experienced the same.
I agree. I am not even denying what you're saying is not true. But the importance you get for that event is much more than the time you put in.
And what about the business operations at that time?
My team is good. I trust my team. They also see me working relentlessly, so they equally support me.
You have been part of many drafting many policies through the CREDAI-MCHI association. So how does one get on that path?
I think, the good part which we learned from Ajay Mehta sir, who was the municipal commissioner at that time, where the first major role which I played in the policy was ease of doing business. So he gave us a free hand, and he always used to tell me, Romell, don't come for an individual problem. Come for a collective problem, which will be simplified and magnified, both words. So that's where we started. So we started going, then we understood that everyone was, when the auto DCR was not in process, everyone had a different report or everyone had different approval. But since the transparency is come in auto DCR, all the approvals are similar. People can see what is approved and what is not approved. And that's how CREDAI-MCHI helped BMC to get things online, get ease of doing business done, and policy is being done even today at different levels.
You can tell about few policies that that the association was involved majorly in.
I think the best one people remember in Corona, with all the gloom and doom of Corona, everybody got 50% reduction on the premium, and I think projects which were stuck for 12 years got a new life, and a lot of people got their stuck home back. So I think that's a fantastic policy to look at.
What was the journey to making this possible?
I think the good part of that, the government had got a good committee under Deepak Parekh, who is a financial person who understood what the need of the hour was. And I think government was even clever enough to know that in case they want the economy to grow, they need to have real estate at the stride. I think real estate is the best stride maker for the business, for the economy in Maharashtra. So just to give you a small note, around 40 to 48% of revenue of India, real estate, comes from Mumbai and MMR.
In real estate in Mumbai?
In real estate in Mumbai only.
Can you break that down for us?
So I'm saying that if suppose there is a 1 trillion sale happening all over India, 48% to 40% in that range comes from Mumbai and MMR all alone. So Mumbai today, if you see the stamp duty we are paying 6%, even though it's high, but the amount the government receives, the GST which we pay both on material and on redevelopment is humongous.
How has that 50% premiums coming in impacted the industry?
I think it's a positive impact, as I said, and I think government should understand and keep that policy on, not just shut it for some time. Because in return, the developers were getting that benefit, but reciprocally, they were giving it back to the flat purchasers by absorbing the stamp duty of 3% or paying that 3% of that difference. So I think it's a very good scheme because you see, it's not only that government or MCGM is making money, but the entire Maharashtra government, we have 267 allied industries with us in real estate, that really helps all of them to grow. And that will help people today. And the biggest part, the best part is the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for housing for all. I think if we at Mumbai and government of Maharashtra decide to make it a possibility, it's the best policy to have because 50% of the population is given roti by the government under several schemes. And if you get the pricing right and they get some discounts on the existing premium charges and other part of it, it'll become both the vision of the Prime Minister will be complete. Nobody will sleep hungry and everybody will sleep in their own homes.
What are your opinions on the PMAY 2.0 scheme?
It's a good scheme and fortunately they have increased the value, which was people are not qualifying and it will definitely grow.
कुछ चेंजेस करवाने थे कुछ लोगों को स्कीम में,
वो कर दिए। 6.5 लाख रुपए की अभी एलिजिबिलिटी हो गई है।
ओके,
पहले 2.5 लाख की थी, अभी 6.5 लाख की हो गई।
ओके,
So that's where the scheme will grow.
आप समझा सकते हो वो स्कीम प्रॉपर्ली?
स्कीम का कैसा था, पहला the person had show an income of 2.5 lakh rupees and then he was eligible for the scheme. So 2.5 lakhs with the 7th pay commission, everybody crossed that threshold.
Okay.
So that nobody was qualifying. In fact, a lot of people scrapped this scheme. But now that is risen from 2.5 to 6.5 lakhs rupees. So that's where the eligibility again will come back. So that was a big turning point. And good part of the PMAY 2 scheme is that bodies like SIDCO, MADA, they themselves are having enough land. Now they are creating that in rural and parts of Maharashtra where people will get it because there are no premiums and the rate is not so high. And they're not building very tall buildings where the construction cost goes up.
If you had to give your biggest takeaways in your journey, what would they be?
Don't give up. Keep working. There's always a sweeter moment than you had yesterday.
Any point in your time that you felt like this wouldn't be possible, but something that you did made it possible?
It's not me, I think. There are many instances. I mean, I always tell everyone a favorite line of mine that a cat has 9 lives, but a builder has to live 9 times in a month to come to the next month. So that's where the difficulties in builders are tremendous. I mean, there are people have a 4 to 100 meter hurdle race. I think builders have much more than every month. So the hurdles keep coming. But I think the unity of the association, the understanding of the government, the support of your staff, you can overcome these hurdles. So that's how it is. I don't think there's a problem. I think there's always a sweeter moment than what we had yesterday.
I got a review from your team and Ricardo as well that you have a lot of focus on the cash flows and you are very strict with maintaining your cash flows. What is the thought process behind that?
So I'm not a good learner. So I just read one book in my entire life, that is Rich Dad Poor Dad, or Robert Kiyosaki. So it's very simple. He says your entire life depends on cash flow. So I just see that the cash flows of the company are good and I value my checkbook as a prestige book. So I don't see that one check is bounced. It's as simple as that.
Any rules apart from these you have to make sure that everything is streamlined?
So the best tool I have is that my customer should be satisfied when he's taking possessions. Yes, there could be teething problems. I'm not even saying no that I'm Mr. Perfect. So that has to be resolved by my team, which is a CRM team. So I don't want the customer to be lashing or trying to have a guilt that he bought the wrong product.
You speak multiple languages. Being a Catholic, you speak Gujarati, you speak very fluent Marathi, and obviously English and Hindi too.
I speak many more languages.
What are those? I want to know them
That's
too.
okay.
You speak South Indian language
I
as
understand a lot of South Indian too.
How is that how did you learn all of this?
So money makes you learn all the good things in life.
How did you learn South Indian?
It's as simple as that. So money makes you learn. The smartest guys are the shitty guys. They make you learn. I think the Keralites are too smart in their maths, so they make you learn from there also.
So you have interacted with a lot of
Absolutely.
them in the real estate industry.
Yeah, of course. They are customers. They talk amongst themselves. They try to spill the beans by telling something in Malay which you can catch upon and understand.
So it's not that you have taken up some classes
No.
or some learnings. It's just been with the business conversations
Absolutely.
and experience that you have learned all languages.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
I understand a lot of Marwadi also.
Oh, so ache. That's in Gujarati.
Absolutely.
Your advice to the young generation in real estate or any other industry as well?
So I'll be more specific to real estate. So if you see, Krish, the problems people had, when they were building, or you should always see that there's an overhang of supply and all this thing. There was a lot of criticism on the press. There's a lot of criticism, people, different industries trying to press. So there were two learnings which I learned, and I still continue the learning. One is product fit, which is very important. So people never learned what is product fit. We were all like a herd mentality. किसने 400 फुट बांधा, सबने 400 फुट बांधा. किसने 800 फुट बांधा, सबने 800 फुट बांधा. But not understanding whether the product is fit for that area or that market, or the person who's building 400 square feet is building in Daisar and not in Bandra. And the person who's building 800 is not building in Daisar, but he's building in Bandra. So product fit is a very, very important thing which I advise everyone to be very cautious, even though there is a lot of FSI available. And the thing should be, because that's where the difficulty comes. So prices become very sensitive, especially the markets beyond Mirror, Naiga and all. Even for 1 lakh rupees, the customer can't afford your product. So it becomes that sensitive.
Okay.
Even a good developer can't sell better unless his product is right. So product fit is a very, very important point which I would advise everyone to actually sincerely see your sale plan. Don't depend on your other peer colleagues who are trying to market it. Product fit is the utmost important thing. It's like a heart to the business.
Understood.
And second is profit fit. If you don't make profit, please don't do something. Nothing is going to change tomorrow. It can get better expensive, but not lesser cheap. And the other thing which I do and which I enjoy is I love my work. I'm very passionate about it. Every morning I wake up, I just want to come back to office and not go somewhere else. So be passionate about your work. It will make you a lot of money, but make you a lot of more happier.
That's good enough for people to understand. What would be your vision for Romell Group in the next few years?
Right now, as I said, I was always looking at the bottom line, not at the top line. So I want to, at least in not this financial year, but next financial year, I'm trying to target to make a revenue of at least 1,000 crore rupees from my sales. That's one part of it. I'm already corporate, but I'll try to more corporatize it and see how best if I can get in some new talents like you and some IMs who will understand the business better than just brick and mortar, than what I understand. So that's what is my vision is. And every employee should be a happy employer.
Do you think the culture at an organization should always be like a corporate one, or there could be a different kind of culture as well?
I think fusion is what the trend is all over the world.
Okay.
So today, Vada Pav sells more in America than in India, I suppose.
Right.
So that's a fusion. So we can enjoy that. So I think a blend of both are required. One cannot be a recipe like you say, like as I said, sauce is made of multiple things, not just of tomato. So the secret is the sauce. So you need to have a blend of both flavors and you can succeed.
Domnic sir, thank you so much for your time. Normally our podcasts are a little bit of more length where people are explaining sometimes some things which are not up to the point. But considering this one podcast, it was so engaging and your answers and everything were so direct to the point like a personality. So very glad to have you and thank you for making this happen.
So, Krish, it was fun talking to you, and I wish you all the success for your education.
Thank you.
And I can assure you, if your dad doesn't want you, I'm always there to accept you. Thank you.